A text about the discrepancy between spirituality and technology in our modern society. Thich Om's new book The Cosmic Man is coming out soon. Book now. Visit www.books.com. Spirituality and technology, communication, and absolute love idea. When we talk about spirituality, we are also talking, and to a large extent, about communication, always with the sublime goal of the idea of creation, to show the right path to knowledge. This understanding is, therefore, an enormously important part of our existence, because creation, in its striving for redemption, is about love, about living interaction, a bridge that represents a first step towards the true connection, the being in these, which then makes any communication, in the conventional sense, superfluous. Here, in the experienced today, communication is connection and absolute idea of love. No resentment. So, a very fundamental statement, love, in its tender implementation on our planet, cannot show any resentment against any modern, computerized forms of information transmission. This must now generally refer to the entire area of religiosity, quite clearly, in the light of tender, smooth, as perfect as possible, communication, which has the aim of leading you on the right path. From pure logic, there can be no barriers here. Our accessibility. If we now look at ourselves without any prejudices in our media behavior, it becomes very clear where the hammer hangs, where we need to be picked up. How long, how many hours, we invest in our communication every day, and it is not very clear that the modern language in which a religion, a spiritual movement, should therefore argue, is that of social media, cell phones, computers and websites? Simple to achieve. New friendship pact. If two such different worlds, as the image of science and religion was previously defined, if science and religion agree in the sense of a unified view of the basic principles of creation, and can now be reconciled with each other, why shouldn't the same thing also happen and be possible with modern communication technology and the Word of God? In the middle of life? Isn't it actually the case that, in view of the incredibly intense relationship that, now internalized and no longer just on the surface, exists between this world of wireless togetherness and the idea of society, a successful direction towards knowledge, should be located precisely here? On the pulse of what's happening? After all, it is clearly clear this is where very essential communication takes place, between people, which cannot in any way be suppressed. Disused paths. Viewed from a distance, we see two levels of understanding, which are in the process of merging. Purely verbal communication between people has largely become obsolete, and technology is replacing vocal cords. Communication includes information, and we get 99% of it from this communication technology, which is ultimately what the content is about here. This determines the content we express verbally. Separate warehouses. When we talk about levels of understanding, this can be viewed literally. The term levels clearly implies a separation. That's how it is you speak, feel, act a different language, which is infinitely far away from the reflections that we receive in our spirituality, from the holy writings of the great religions, as food for the soul. Means, the character, the style of the extractions that we take from the venerable writings, have little to do with the lived level of existence that occurs in the large-scale application of technology. Transformed wisdom. It is appropriate to find a way to bring in the old wisdom in an understandable, truly understandable way, a way that must be integral. It is not productive to separate old traditional traditions and hierarchical thinking, and a fresh, independent, new spirituality to push even further. Where is the possibility of reconciling these two schools of thought, these wind directions? Very clearly, this possibility, this unconditional future, is a new openness, a new honesty. With this a new politeness, a new love, a new earth. Accept new things. We have to be able to get rid of very basic, internalized but completely wrong hierarchical thinking. Throw away the dusty robes. Approach new knowledge in the same intensive way that we initially only deal with our outdated principles. Don't put this completely new wholeness in any drawer. No technology should stand in our way. On the contrary, we should use them intensively. The essence. It's about the presentation of the substance, the all-one, which, in itself, is beyond all terminology. On the contrary, the inadequate but preferred communication instruments used by man to gently reveal his everlasting existence to humanity. Time plays a minor role, neither does the development of technology. They are only external circumstances that cannot affect the real thing, the essence. Enabling first steps. One could now easily postulate that, in view of this absolute substance, any approach is of no use, and that the big moving question about meaning and other things ultimately turns out to be irrelevant illusion anyway. It's therefore in no way of concern. What is important is not what is actually thought, said or done, absolutely right, but what is important is to guide an infinite number of people, first of all, only approximately, towards this ultimate knowledge. And that if you want to help, you should do this in the form of a modern spiritual dialogue that is also understood. Every technology is permissible. Conclusion. The pure, absolute substance of living creation, this chi, the cosmic energy field, all of us, alone it, needs no words and no strategies, no computers and cell phones. But the world is given to us, today, and now, exactly as it is, with all the comforts of technology, and the dynamics of creation uses these circumstances, which arise from us, for good, to lead us home, to the light. Let's support it with our powerful thoughts of love. Thich Om's new book The Cosmic Man is coming out soon. Book now. Visit www.books.com.